booties for black girl nerds.
I'm such a fan of Downton Abbey, and I'm excited to be here with all of you. And, I'd like to start with Kevin and just talk about the global phenomenon that Downton Abbey has become. And, fan favorite of Mr. Molesley. How has this experience been for you?
I suppose it's been life-changing, actually. I think for all of us. I think even Maggie said that it sort of changed her life. She could comfortably walk to the supermarket and not be bothered, but as soon as Downton Abbey came along, she had to stay at her house. It's been a really strange decade for all of us. I mean, it's sort of, as I said, it's changed our lives. As British actors, we're not used to this kind of experience where a TV program has such an enormous global reach, and I think it took all of us by surprise. Well, I mean, because I know the producers were planning on a 3-year TV program, and what was it, 6 years and now 2 movies.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it never stopped after 3 years. And Hugh, as Kevin mentioned, it's been over 10 years with this Downton family. How is it for you coming in and joining the group?
Well, it was easier than I guess it might have been, because I think they are all quite experienced at welcoming people in, and they're a kind group. I think I can say that. And we were filming this time last year, so it was like stepping into a reunion, not just because they were all coming back to work, but because we'd all been in our homes, right, for the previous year. And that was a lovely thing to be part of. I felt that was it was like the golden ticket.
Nice. And Michelle, I absolutely adore Lady Mary. I think she's had one of the most interesting arcs in the series and the movies. Just seeing her, I mean, for me, going from kind of this snobbish character to someone I can just really respect. And I'm wondering, what do you think is the biggest lesson that Mary kind of learned that made her turn that corner?
Well, you're right. She in those early days, she was a real snob and very arrogant, and she was. When I look back at that first series, she was very immature in her reactions to things and her choices, and but she's grown so much over that time, and I feel like she's given in to being. To sort of embracing her role within Downton. She was so resistant to it for so long, and actually sort of letting go and giving into it, she really enjoys it, and actually she is completely at home in that role, now running the show, which she really enjoys being the boss, I think. But I think she was so stubborn, and I think she's learnt to just ease back a bit and just let things be. And she's much more settled now and happier.
Yeah, I could see that happier is definitely a key word I would use to describe her just journey through the seasons and the movies. And Kevin, for Mr. Molesley, I feel like he's just a fun character to portray. What's been one of your favorite moments with this character?
Oh, gosh. There have been so many. It's difficult to say. Surviving the TV series, I suppose. I was only supposed to be in. I was only supposed to be in the first 2 episodes, and and I wasn't alone in that either. There were a few of us who weren't sure how our path would continue in the show. So yes, I was just pleased and delighted to be asked back.
That's great. Well, Hugh, Michelle, Kevin, it has been a pleasure speaking with you, and congratulations on the success of the show and the movies. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
So
thank you.
Of course. Phyllis, Mrs. Hughes to me is basically the mother of the group, like the mother hen. What do you think she learned over the years that really makes her comfortable in this role?
Oh, what has she learned? Well, that's an interesting question. Well, I'd say as the years go by, I'm more like the granny of the group rather than the mother. Yeah. No, I leave that to Dame Maggie Smith. She is definitely the granny of the group. I don't know. Do you mean learn as Mrs. Hughes?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I think in some ways, Mr. Carson has kind of, in some ways, tamed her to be more understanding, but then at the same time, given her more of a fight in her. I don't know. He's a good compliment to her, I think. And I think as the years go by, she realises, you know, people have their foibles and you just have to accept them, as she does with him, and not to be so rigid or with people and their what am I trying to say? Sorry, I've lost the plot. I'm just saying that yes, she probably does.
I think she's quite modern thinking, actually.
She is,
in a way.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
she's got that traditional,
I think
you
she
know,
always
grounding,
has.
but she's quite open, isn't she?
I think she has been in a way. She
Yeah.
probably tried politics if she didn't go into, you know, because I think she's.
Ooh.
I think she's maybe got that.
I
in
like
her.
that for her. And Joanne, Anna has had a tremendous arc, even through the series, into the movies. And what aspect of your character do you respect the most? And what do you wish you could have fleshed out a little more?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, the aspect of Anna that I respect the most is her honesty and loyalty. That's two, but that's what drew me to her as a character when I first went for the audition. I hadn't really played anyone like Anna before, and actually just that takes a great strength of character to be a good person. You know, I think we can all misjudge people that are good people, thinking they're soft, and actually it takes a greater strength to do the right thing. And I really wanted that to be Anna, that, you know, it's because she's strong that she's a good person, not because she's weak. She doesn't suffer fools, but she is kind and loyal and emotionally intelligent. So they're all the aspects I love about her. In terms of what I'd love to be fleshed out more, I don't know whether there is anything. I mean, I think I had a very good run with Anna. I literally explored so many emotions.
And got a golden globe for your troubles too, darling.
Thank you. I have no complaints.
Yeah.
I think I had plenty to explore, and it's lovely now in the movies to see her in a place of happiness and joy. In this movie, she's super excited about, you know, having the film crew there, and it's really nice to see that fun in her again. And I think as an audience and as an actress, we wanted her to get to that place, and it's nice to be able to see her through to get there. So it's been fun.
That's great. And Phyllis, I believe this is the last question. What do you think is so fascinating to viewers just around the world with the success of Downton Abbey, with the whole upstairs and downstairs storyline?
You know, it's the never-ending question and the never-answerable question in some ways. But when you consider that in China, it's very popular there too, but they have their hierarchies, lowerarchies, and so all cultures do, and I think it's relatable in that way. And also, and I've said this many times, Julian writes great characters and great stories. He's a fabulous storyteller, and people are fascinated by what went on back in history. So even though some people are still alive who would have been around then, but it is a fascinating aspect because our lives have changed so much since we first started, which was 1912. It was when the Titanic sank, was our first episode.
Right.
So gosh, even in that short span of time, we're now in 27, 8, where are we?
Oh, I don't
Nine?
know, 1920 something.
1920
1920 something, later into the 20s.
I mean,
yeah.
it's such a short span of years, but you know, it's chalk and cheese between where we started and where we are now in this Downton Abbey New Era, which I
Yes.
hope you'll all go to see, please.
Yes,
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. It's been a pleasure, and congratulations on the success of the show.
Thank you
And the
very
movies.
much, Kat.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Alan and Laura, it is a pleasure to be here with you.
I should speak to you too, Kat.
Absolutely.
So I know that Edith and Tom, I feel like they're more similar than people realize. I think in my head, they're kind of like the ugly ducklings who blossomed into beautiful swans in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, Laura, how would you describe, Edith and Tom's relationship, even though we don't really see them together that much on screen?
We had moments, didn't we, through the season where they'd look out for each other. I think
Yeah,
they
care
both
for each
had
other.
some hard knocks, and they have a similarity in that they are not phased by change in perhaps the same way that Robert and Violet maybe are, or even Mary to some extent. They are the modern forward thinkers, and they really want to be part of the world. I think that's the difference. I think they don't want to just be in this sort of bubble of the aristocracy. I think Edith wants to be in London and writing and writing about the world at large, really. And Tom is a modern man.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they're actually been brought together, and their modernist views have probably come from the fact that they both had such hardship. They've had to adapt and pivot and change, and I think they definitely saw that in each other when you watch the show, and then in the movies as well. Even when they're together in the south of France, they also really see the importance of figuring out why we're there, and is it really everything that people have said. And again, they find that they kind of both are kind of champions of the truth as well, which is quite nice.
I like that, champions of the truth. I love that. And Alan, Tom finally finds love again, and I can speak for the entire world saying hooray.
Yeah.
But
They
I
put him
have to
through
ask, what do you think was the holdup? I mean, what is it about Lucy, or what clicked in Tom that really made him go after this relationship?
I think because they were both victims of circumstance. Lucy never really wanted this world, or really was part of it up until the point of the first movie, where she finally comes out that she's the daughter of Maud. So she's lived a completely different existence, and one that really wasn't her truth. And so is Tom. And both because of other people's decisions or circumstances that have occurred. So I think they found equals. They found each other's equals. And I think you can see that in this movie as well, when he's troubled for figuring out how he reconciliates this villa with his own beliefs. She's there as a kind of sounding board to be able to say, it's okay, we can figure this out,
Yeah. And Laura, Edith is a rebel of the times, I think. And given her pursuits, what do you think Edith will be doing in 2022?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like, carrying on the thought of her being this journalist writer, I think she would have a big social media presence. She'll be a blogger. She'll have an Instagram. She'll be tweeting, and probably trying to take over Vogue or something. That's in my image of her.
I love that. Just doing Vogue fashion shoots and hit story articles. I love that.
Exactly. Yeah. Does some travel journalism in the movie. So she's blogging about South of France.
Love it. Well, Alan and Laura, it has been a pleasure speaking with you today, and congratulations on the success of the show and these movies.
Too you so much.
You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerds. Better shake your booties for black girl nerds.